December was kind of a strange month for me. I was in between jobs, and so I had a lot of time on my hands to practice photography and other creative areas. There were some trips to museums. I had my camera club's print party. You saw in one of my previous videos my film photography adventures during the month. And I made trips to Ohio and Washington State to see my family for the holidays. There were no shortage of opportunities to take photographs during the month of December. And in this video, I'll talk about a few of my favorite photographs during the month. So first up is this photograph that I took at the Museum of Modern Art at the beginning of December. This was at an Ed Ruscha retrospective, and I captured this man looking at a display, and I used my 16mm lens. It's just a very wide focal length, captures a great deal of space. Probably too much space, I think. And but there are times when it is a very good lens to have in my bag. And just the way, I've said this before in previous videos, the way people interact with artwork in museums is something that's pretty fascinating to me. Next, we have this photograph that I took in Washington Square Park in the middle of December. I shot this on Rollei RPX25 film. And of course I did a video earlier in the month about shooting that film roll and a couple other film rolls in the middle of December. What I love about this photograph is it's shot in Washington Square Park, which is one of my favorite places in New York City to take photographs. And the light was just so right in this image. The way the shadows are just encroaching on this person sitting on the lawn. The sunlight is shrinking around him. Yeah, they're just being engulfed by the darkness, which I think is a very poetic image, any way you can slice it. And RPX25 is just a very fine-grained film. It's one of my favorite films to shoot with. Of course, the light has to be very fine, very, very bright when you shoot with it. If it's not, you got to get very creative with your shutter speeds and apertures. But fortunately for me, this image came out very well, very sharp. And next is this photograph, another film photograph that I took in the middle of December. I shot this image outside the Museum of Natural History on the Upper West Side of New York City. And I shot this on some expired Fujifilm NPZ 800 film. And I stopped it down 2 stops, and the colors in this image are just absolutely exquisite. I think it is probably one of my favorite film photographs that I've ever taken. I'm not overblowing it, I feel like. I'm not overselling it, I think, by saying that. Just there's something about halal carts and food carts in New York City that are the way the light emanates from them, and I don't know, something about them draws me to them. And then you have this woman walking past it, and then a little girl running around, and I managed to get everything in this frame. It just is one of my best. I hope. I don't know. maybe you disagree with that, but in my opinion, I think this really hit the nail on the head. Next is this photograph I took of a coffee cup at my in-laws' house in Ohio. And it's kind of a small moment, I think. It's not a very grand photograph, but I think that's why I love it so much, is because it's the form of the coffee cup and the shadow being cast by the late afternoon sunlight. It just captures a moment of just being at home, relaxing during the holidays. It's just and it almost feels like a film photograph to me, even though it was shot on digital. Again, a small moment, but life is filled with small moments, and I think if you don't take the time to savor them every once in a while, you're kind of missing out on things, in my opinion anyway. Next is this image of a skyscraper in Cleveland, Ohio, that I took when I was wandering around the city that one day, and I managed to capture the reflection of another building in the windows of the skyscraper. And there's something very minimalistic about it, but it's just the way the rigid lines of the skyscraper are contrasted by the waviness of the reflection, these kind of semicircles that are showing up in the reflection in the windows. I'm a big fan of abstract photography. I think it's a really underappreciated genre of photography, and it's so clean, and you gotta be observant. You gotta find those little moments. And finally is this image that I shot in Washington State during the holidays. As you can see, it's a little kind of Christmas doll that's been stapled to a telephone pole. So when I went out that day, I kind of was being inspired by Stephen Shore's photography of the American West, and just those cities where you see just layers of signs and advertising logos. And to me, that was what I was going for. But I found this little doll stapled to the telephone pole, and I had to take photographs of it. I just had to. And I felt the best one was this one where I managed to get the McDonald's sign blurry in the background. But it's just such a quirky photograph. Yeah, this was, again, just something you stumble onto, I guess, as a photographer. And when you do, you have to take advantage of it. And so those were some of my favorite images that I shot in December 2023. And if you like these videos, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. It tells YouTube that these videos are worth making, I guess. But with that being said, I will shut up now, and I'll also show you a slideshow of all of my favorite images from December 2023. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.